people let in. Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys joining us again tonight for another training. And thank you guys all for checking in. Those who are checking in, some of you guys are texting, and some of you all are going to the Facebook page, the Go For No Facebook page, and some of you guys are chiming in the Zoom. But every week, we've got, another trainer that's going to be coming to the table to talk to you guys about something that has to do with getting better at making dials, doing your business, do things of that nature. And what I know about making dials is that if you're calling the same people over and over again, that means you don't have enough people in your pipeline. If you're pressed, right, trying to get people to answer the phone, and you're stressed out about what they say when they answer the phone, it's probably because you don't have enough people in your pipeline. And one of the number one questions I get asked in that circumstance is, well, where do I get more prospects from, especially during COVID-19, all those kind of things. So Mr. Sandy English, right? And I'm gonna call you Mr. If you want, just put your hand up, Mr. English, if you want me to call you Reverend. No, don't do it. So we're talking about a gentleman that's been in Legal Shield for quite some time now, and he focuses on the business solutions arena. You guys may have seen his name called out for writing several business plans before. I've seen his name called out for doing a lot of business plan writing. So I know it's a few of you out on the line now who are making small business calls. So this gentleman has definitely done that for years. And the PDF that's going to go out tomorrow morning has got his contact information on there. So his email and his phone number is there. And he's probably going to give you that caveat about calling him after 8 p.m. Don't wait till after 8 p.m. So I'm going to give it to you in the beginning. He'll give it to you during his speech. That man is working all day long on his business, build his business. So don't be texting and calling him at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, asking him questions, because guess what? He's dialing just like we're talking about doing. This gentleman not only has a prestigious background as far as schooling, so we talking about book knowledge, and we talking about graduating top of his class, but this gentleman has come over into Legal Shield. He's a retired attorney on top of all these different things, right? Which is why he does research so well, right? A retired attorney who knows how to do his research. The very first time I started using the A to Z database, right? I locked into it through a library. It was because I was on a training that Mr. English had did years ago. And I contacted him and said, hey, I can't get into A to Z database. I don't have a library card. And he put me on. And from that point on, that's when I started calling with the marbles. Like you guys see me talk. I started calling with the marbles. I was using A to Z database, and I was using a directory from the chamber in my area. So this gentleman has built into me. He has built into several other leaders in his company. He's out of the Atlanta, Georgia marketplace. Some of you guys already know who this gentleman is, but for those who don't, you're going to get a rude awakening in adding prospects to your list. So if you're saying I can't find people, you're going to be real embarrassed right now, because this gentleman knows how to find people. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce my good friend, Mr. Sandy English, to the call. And I appreciate you, brother.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I'm excited to be here to share some information with you. As Robert indicated, you can reach me after 8 o'clock in the evening on the flyer that he's going to give you in the morning. My email address is there, and my phone number. Okay. Well, let's just go through the list. And if you have some questions, then we can pick those up at the end. Start off with, who do you know? Family, relatives, friends, neighbors, churches, schools, employers, and more. That's automatic. Start with who you know. Next is the businesses that you do business with. Your barber, your cleaners, the hair salon, the restaurants you go to, people you do business with. I tell people all the time, I do business with people who do business with me. That's a given, okay? The next is business expos. Now, keep in mind that in some communities, some of the things I'm gonna make reference to don't apply, but they are things that are oftentimes available in Georgia and in Atlanta. And I've used them. So the next is business expos. And probably once a month, somebody's doing some type of business expo in the Atlanta, Georgia area. Also, in some communities, and this is certainly true in Atlanta, you have a calendar of events by community, by town, by city, by county, by state, by county, where they tell you what conventions, and events are happening on a monthly basis in that community. And so you know ahead of time, and then eventually you get a mailing list, and I get mailing lists from hundreds of people that are doing some type of event. SBA, SCORE, the city of Atlanta, the various counties that I'm involved in. I mean, we have one guy who does a networking event on Zoom. Okay. He also has a situation where they will do a luncheon. You bring your own lunch to your home and it's virtual and it networks. Okay, next, and this is a big one. In most communities, cities, states, and counties, someone is responsible for doing business license for people who are in business or want to get in business. So you want to go to the department in the city, the county, or the state that offers business license. Now, I have one particular county here in the Atlanta, Georgia area, and they do a listing every Monday of people who've gotten licensed, and usually it's somewhere between 5 and 9 pages. And on average, there are 9 businesses on the page. And it has everything except the email address. It has the phone numbers, the business name, it has the owner's name. It tells you whether it's a home-based business or brick and mortar, but all the information that you need is right there every week. I just got it on Monday. Every Monday I go in and get it for the week. Okay, so you want to take advantage of that. Now I have another county where I know how to go online and get all the business owners. And about 2 weeks ago, I went online for the year, January 1 up to May. I got 4,000 leads. That's a lot of leads. Now, some of them are duplicates, but it's a lot of leads. Now, in that situation, with that particular county, they give me the email address. So it makes it easy for me to communicate with them. The first county I mentioned, they don't give me the email address, but when I go through, the ones who are interested, I ask them to give me their email addresses. I think I did about 60 calls a day, and I got, I think, 10 or 12 emails from communicate with them. And then I got one person who wants me to call him back tomorrow. Another person wants to call him back on Friday. And then there's a third person that wants me to call them back. And they just say, call me back. We had a set a time for them to call me, for me to call them. Okay. Next, we have SCORE, SBA, and Chamber of Commerce's. Further, we go to the 2 big ones, Reference USA and A to Z database. Now, you can get that information usually from your public library. And once you get a library card, you're able to use that card to go remotely. You don't have to go into the library. It's a database, and you can get some good information. Now, I use at the present time Reference USA. I'm in Fulton County. And there's another database called A to Z database. I believe the beginning of last year, the county where I got A to Z database no longer subscribe to A to Z database. So usually it's libraries, it may be college libraries, but that's where you get your cards. And what you may want to do is go into Google and look up A to Z database. I think they're located in Omaha, Nebraska. And they will answer questions for you. And you can ask them. As a matter of fact, I'm going to call them tomorrow. And my question is, are there any public library systems or college library systems in Georgia that are offering A to Z database? And the reason I asked that question, as far as I know, nobody in the greater Atlanta area is offering it. And what I will do is if I find out that there's a county or a public library that's offering it, sometimes they will not allow you to access their library if you don't live in their county. Other times you can pay for it on an annual basis and they will let you come in. So you have to ask the question, but you can get the information. I believe there are some counties down in Florida that offer A to Z database, but I'm going to check tomorrow with Georgia and see if there are any public libraries in the Georgia area that are offering A to Z database. Now that last one, zoominfo.com, that's a new one. And the only thing about that one is when you're setting it up to get into the system, they want your business web address. Now, as you know, I'm in Legal Shield and I have a web address, but it's my personal web address. And I put that in, they wouldn't let me get in. So finally, I put in a Legal Shield, www.legalshield.com, and I was able to get in. But I have the phone number there in case you need to call them. Okay. Well, next is social media. Facebook, LinkedIn, and there's some others where you can contact people or meet people who may be prospects. Alignable, another website where you can find prospects. Magazines. You probably can't see this too well. This is a magazine that's published in Georgia. It's an annual magazine, and it has in it mostly women, but there are some men, some lawyers and some others, but they have doctors, dentists, chiropractors, business people, realtors, insurance people, as I said, lawyers. And they have information in there about those people. Sometimes you'll have the email address there, sometimes you won't, but if you got a phone number, you can call them and try to get that information. Now that's just one magazine, okay? I have another magazine out here is for schools, for private schools. I mean, it's got all the information there on private schools. So that's the kind of thing I'm talking about when I talk about magazines. Now, everywhere I go in the public, I look for business cards. There's a restaurant called Big Daddy's in the greater Atlanta area. There's another one called This Is It in this area. There's another uh, location called Savanandas. Whenever I go in there, they always have business cards. I go to Savanandas probably once a month, and I come out with anywhere from 25 to 50 business cards. Okay, so that's the kind of thing you want to look for, and you need to begin to look for business cards on the counter in public locations. Okay, maybe a restaurant, it may be a doctor's office, maybe a chiropractor's office, but look for the cards. Okay. Next on my list here, we have business that offer leads and lead training. Okay. And I at the back of this second page, there's a website there where they offer lead training and prospect training. They're good leads. Schools and colleges, professional offices, medical, hospital, dentists, chiropractors, etc. You can find business cards on the counter. Okay. Then there are magazines that advertise, like the one I just mentioned, but the two I just mentioned, as a matter of fact. But you have medical, hospital, dentists, chiropractors. They have the profession in that area will have a magazine or some type of document that will have information about many of them, not just one. Then there are advertising magazines, bulletins, trade and industry materials. You start needing look for it and go on Zoom and just ask for it about that. Magazines that advertise. Now, I've never done that, but I would be willing to bet you if you put in Zoom, in Google, magazines that advertise businesses, you'll probably find something. Non-profit organizations, insurance and real estate agents, local and community newspapers. Now, you go in places and you see the tabloid, you're on the street, the little places on the street where you can get little magazines. They have information. They're advertising somewhere, somebody. That's the way to do it. Okay. Local and community newspapers. And then don't forget your referrals. Okay. What I do when I send out an email to a business, I put a form in there called request for emails. Sometimes they'll send it back to me, but when I talk with them, it's a reminder for me to ask for references. That's a good lead, good way. Okay. Now, at one time with Legal Shield, we had a program called Walk Your Community. Walk Your Community. Now, that sort of faded out because of COVID-19, but that's a good way. Just walk into the business and give them a card and tell them who you are and ask them whether you can come back and talk to them about the business, find out how many employees they have, see whether it would be good for a group. Trade and trade associations, doctors, dentists, chiropractors, lawyers, social workers, on and on. They have the events, but sometimes they publish information that can be helpful. Also, sports and holiday and cultural events. Well, what am I talking about? If you go to a football game, there's going to be somebody out there that's marketing something that you can get the information or material or flyer. Okay. Holiday like the Memorial Day that's coming up next week, or this week actually. There are people who do events. You go to the parks, people are doing events. That's a good place to get leads. Okay. Cultural events. They have a Martin Luther King event here in the area where Martin Luther King grew up. Lots of people there, lots of leads. Then you have organizations like Home Depot, Office Depot, Whole Foods, Walmart's, Sam's Club. They have leads. There have been times that I have gotten permission to stand outside of Walmart and Sam's Club and speak to people and pass out flyers. Now, one of the things that I've done, it's probably been a couple of months now, on my business card, and I have my business card made by A to Z Online, A to J to J A Online, and I have a link to a video that presents the legal plan and ID. As a matter of fact, it's done by Don Thompson. When I'm out, I was out yesterday talking with a prospect, and I mentioned it to the guy who was waiting on us. I gave him a card. I said, at the bottom of the card, there's a link there. Take a look at it. If you like what you see, call me. And there was another guy sitting near me who was having dinner with his family. I gave him a card and did the same thing. So wherever I am, I'm in business. And I tell people, if you're in business and you don't have business cards, you're not in business. You've got to have some information on you to present to somebody, because you never know who you're going to meet and where. Now, in addition to Sam's Club, parking lots, okay, malls, Target, bookstores, all those are good places to get leads. Then you have memory joggers. And some of this information, if you can't get access to it, let me know. And either I've got something in my database, in my computer, or I know how to get it. So the memory jog is a good way to figure out who to talk with. Also, in LS Engage, there are some scripts there that you can have access to, but I've also got some scripts from several other leaders in Legal Shield, and I've prepared some scripts for myself. Now, let me just give you an example of a script that I use when I'm talking to people at a county or a city situation where that's where I got the leads. And I will say something like this. Once I figure out that I'm talking with the owner or the HR person or whoever, the person I think it should be that I should talk to, and I will say something like, is this ABC business? They'll say, yes. So, my name is Sandy English. I got your information out of this county, and I want to talk with you about helping you with your business. And what I do is I help businesses by getting leads for them. Sorry. By helping them to get customers and leads, helping them save money, helping to increase their income and profits, helping to grow their business. We have a discount program, and I want to talk with you about your business and how I can help you to grow your business and increase your income. And you get various reactions. Today, I got two people said, look, can you call me back? One guy said, call me back at 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon. Another lady gave me a different time next week. As a matter of fact, it's on the 2nd. She wants me to call her back. I take out my calendar and put it on the calendar. So that's just a way to approach the people. Now, everybody's not a lawyer or a retired lawyer, so you can't use that language, but you can simply say, I got your information from Fulton County Library System, or I got your information from a national database. You want to make them feel comfortable with you and make them feel that you know what you're talking about. So when I say, my name is Sandy English, I'm a retired corporate business and labor lawyer. I don't practice law anymore, but I'm a business consultant and I work with businesses to help them grow the businesses. And I go from there. Okay. So as we continue here, I mentioned professional organizations, and you see medical, dental, chiropractic, social workers, lawyers, law enforcement, government, manufacturing, schools, colleges, pharmacy, and on and on. Those are all organizations that have they have events and they offer information that you. I have an organization of of credit unions. I go to the event. Okay, I pay the money. It's usually a dinner, and you get access to the officers and leaders of the credit union. Good prospect for group. Okay. Now let me just back up one moment. And when I'm talking about A to Z database and Reference USA, which name has been changed to um, Data Axle now, but it's still the library system. Um, I go in, and when I'm identifying the type of leads I want, they give you an option of how many employees. And what I will do is indicate like 10 to 100 employees. Those are the types of business I'm looking for. Okay. Now there are other criteria, but that's one of them. How many employees. And the advantage of that is if you are getting people that are in that category from 10 to 100 employees, whether the system will tell you how many employees each person has, there's a way to get that information. It takes more time to do that. You know that every business you talk to is also a prospect for a group. So you make one phone call and you get 2 hits. Now, what I generally do, I decide whether when I call the business, whether I'm looking for the group or whether I'm looking for the business. You try not to mix them up because if you get one, then you're going to get the other. If you get the business, then it's logical that you could ask to come in and do a group or vice versa. Okay, so that's another way to do that. Okay, I mentioned conventions and expos by the month. And most of the time, the information that you're going to get is going to be published on a weekly, monthly, annual, and it's usually free of cost from the government. And that's the other thing. The government information request, what is called the Freedom of Information Act. You can go to the city, the county, and state and ask for information under the Freedom of Information Act. And I did that with one county. They sent me 2,000 leads. So that's another good way. Now, the last couple of things that I want to touch on is looking for leads. There's one near the end on page 2 link there. They this is a link, a way to get leads. By that email address, you can go open that up and take a look at it. Then there's a company that actually does prospect training and teach you how to get leads. That's also EE on my list. Okay. And as I said, there are prospecting and scripts and resources on um, the website under LS Engage. There's some prospecting there, also some scripts there, and also you got all kinds of stuff broken down for businesses. Now, the one thing that you want to do is usually every week, usually it's like somewhere between Sunday and Monday, Solutions will publish a flyer that will give you all the information for the week. And there's some good information there. Okay, so take advantage of that. So basically, that's my presentation. If you have some questions and we have time, I'll open up for questions. Business Plus, it has business. Let me give you an example. A lady had an in-house. She had a in-home based business. She enrolled in the program with me. She got back to it about 2 weeks later. She said, I don't know how to get any leads. So I said, okay, send me an email of what type of clients or customers you're looking for. So I took that and put it into an email, and I sent that to the business consultants. They did the research, and they came back with me with 4 pages of email, of websites and all kind of information for her with her in-home care business. And I mean, I haven't heard from her a while because she's doing well. She got plenty of business. Okay, so you want to help people. Now, let me just say this. I mean, the way I do things. I've got that magazine I showed you. And there are about 100 different businesses in that magazine. Last week, I sent an email for ID Shield for Business to all of them. I'm gonna wait a week or so and I'm gonna call them back. Now, also, I'm part of a mastermind, okay?
Mhm.
And this morning I got up and I went through my list here, and I came up with about 110 persons and businesses combined. And I sent them an email inviting them to this map. Okay. Now, one other thing I didn't mention, but let me back up. I did say I mentioned Office Depot. I mentioned Home Depot. I mentioned the Whole Foods, and there are a couple of others. Target. You can get a lot of leads out of those places, and all you have to do. And now, Walmart wants you to get permission. Sam's Club wants you to get permission, but Target doesn't ask for permission. Whole Foods doesn't ask for permission. Office Depot doesn't have permission. And all you have to do, I go into Office Depot and I stand at the counter there at the location where people are getting their printing done. Most of the time, the people there are business people. And I'll stand there and ask them if I can't figure out what type of business they're in, I'll ask them. And I'd say, here's my card. I'd like to do some business with it. Do you have a card? Or you go to Home Depot and stand out in front of Home Depot from about a half an hour before the time that they open for, let's say, an hour to an hour and a half. All those business people are coming in to get their supplies for the day. Let me say this. Yesterday morning, a lady that lives down the street from me, about 3 blocks, we went walking and we went to the exercise room. And she lives in a condominium development. I do too. Now, tomorrow, she's going to come over here. We're going to do the same thing. My bottom line is I get my energy from the divine. I'm a minister also. I get my energy from the divine, and he takes care of me and he gives me a lot of energy. And so much so that in September, I'll be 80 years old.
God bless you.
God bless you. It's really
And I'm not done yet. I have over 35 manuscripts of books I've written, and I'm getting them published. And I said to the divine, I want to publish all these as best-selling books before I leave. He said, okay. I hope that tells you how I get energy. I exercise, I stay in shape, I eat right.
I love it. I love it.
I haven't eaten red meat since 1974.
To say this, Mr. Dunbar, your generosity in bringing us this level of trainers, of professionals with a diversified background, we can't thank you enough. You and Ms. Tillis for coordinating this effort. I mean, I've known Mr. English for a number of years. I followed him. I remember when he sent me his list of what little profile that he would put together and just allow you to put your name on it. So when I saw his name tonight, I said, I definitely got to be there. So I want to say thank you publicly for coordinating this effort for us. We had to say no to something else for us to be here. So thank you, Mr. English, and thank you, Mr. Dunbar.
My pleasure, my honor.
This is Jim. I completely echo what Willie has just said. He got to you first before I was able to use my script on the both of you. This has been a tremendously valuable session. This time I've gotten a lot of, I didn't get just nuggets. I got the whole mind. I mean, this has just been incredible. So thank you both so much for your gifts and your caring for all of us.